All right, here we are. So now we want to seed some franchise data as well as some location data. So let's create 3 franchises real fast. New franchise. Now this is as straightforward as just creating a couple new objects. So new franchise, ID equals -1.
So stupid.
Brand equals Starbucks. That is just so terrible. So bad. What do we have? Brand color equals colors dot green. Is local, false. And locations, let me do locations. Is it Kawa?
Kawa. Yeah,
that's right. Is that an H?
Someone has to put up
Google it.
yellow. They're yellow, right? But they're
Yes, there
local.
is an H.
Yeah. And then everyone's favorite coffee place in mine.
Yeah.
What's their color? White? Blue?
Great.
Colors
White.
black and white. It's just black and white.
Alright. Black.
No.
We don't have black. I'm pretty sure we can add it. Because where we use it on the UI now is that we can actually, on the UI, change the color of the card based on the brand. Just to be cool like that.
That is true. It is local. Damn, Mark, you fancy.
I am. Try to be. Some fancy sometimes.
Some new location.
Oh God. So information.
It's a lot. We need it. We need all the data.
All of that goes within
We
location.
need all the
Yeah.
Gross.
So gross. Can someone do bikery for me? Can someone do Kawa for me? Franchise ID equals -1. I'm gonna use a whole bunch of fake information real fast.
I
City,
just looked at your fake.
yeah. Tampa. Zip. What's the zip code in Tampa? 12345.
Oh yeah, well.
ID equals
I
-1.
believe that's Davis Island.
Phone number.
Zip
813 8675 309.
67530. Oh, you did do that.
Price range.
Manager, Tom Newtown.
They are. What is the price range? Dot. They're what? Medium? Starbucks?
Yeah. Sure sound like a lot.
Rating 1. No one likes Starbucks. State equals Florida. Image URL equals. Disclaimer. Always find fair use.
Yes.
Images. I today don't care.
How do you go about finding a fair use
Disclaimer,
image?
always what?
Always use fair use images.
What's that?
You mean Creative Commons?
Yeah, so images that you're allowed to use.
How do you tell?
So like, this is probably cool because it's on Wikipedia. But
Medium?
what?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, or Wikipedia. But usually it's good to like stock photo images or contact the domain of whoever you're trying to get images from. Like, hey, I want to use this picture. So usually that falls under the responsibility of the designer to make sure you have the images. But make sure you have it. So we have our logo.
There's one more. From.
Nope,
Oh,
that's it.
nice. Yeah.
All right, so let's make a couple Starbuckses. Nothing too crazy here, right? I think that's enough.
Did you just put your phone number in?
Maybe. Call it and find out.
The number you picked up in a truck stop bathroom?
Yep. That'd be so funny if I did that.
Call for a good time.
Like pick up one of those really random numbers instead of like, this is my dummy data.
Yeah.
All right, so let's add a couple kawas. So at this point, we're just kind of like low, make this one high.
Is Kawa a local thing?
It is.
It is? Okay. It's just something that I noticed I've been seeing since I moved here. So I was like,
I never know like what's a local brand versus what's not a local brand
yeah.
because like this data.
Kawa is local to St. Pete or Tampa Bay?
The Bay Area.
Bay.
We're in Tampa too.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it's good. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Yeah, whenever moving to a new city, I always don't know like what's local and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, is this restaurant local or is this just not where I used to live? And then bikery. Images.
The bikery in downtown St. Pete. Wow, they're on Fox 13 News, huh?
It's an awesome logo.
That is.
It's also like a very modern hipster logo.
Oh yeah. We can create a logo like that as well if you want for this app.
Yes. Using Hashful.
Yes.
Yes.
I made logos with Hashful for a restaurant that I want to make where you throw the food at the customer, and it's called the Yeatery.
I just want like the diamond. Why is it so hard to find a good logo? You know, don't care.
Complaint that listen, I was trying to make a dumb data with your I don't even do that.
Where is it? All right, so we have there we go. All right, so we have some stuff over here. We have 3 Starbucks, -1s. We have 2 Kawas and 1 biker.
Righteous.
How are we feeling?
Alright,
I mean, we're just creating new objects, and then we're going to create ourselves some migration.net EF migrations added seed data.
.NET database update, right?
Noise.
Make sure I'm in the right directory.
Yeah.
So just to give you kind of a heads up, this week we're going to be doing React and .NET as two separate apps.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to do them together in one big app. There are advantages and disadvantages to doing it both ways. So yeah, the advantage of doing it this way is that each one is independent of the other one. Like all the configuration, everything is completely independent. So now you can have like a front-end developer who doesn't know C# still work on your app. You can have a React person, or you can have a C# developer who doesn't know React still work on your app. You don't have to worry about all of that stuff. The downside is now you're no longer managing just one project, you're now managing two projects. So, advantages and disadvantages. So now that we've added our migrations, just inserting some data over here. Whenever that's done, I want to verify that it works. So I'm going to go into Postgres, PGCLI, and check it out. Yep, that's a select star.
Oh, so let's start.
Cool, PGCL. Ooh, not up there. Not up there. PGCLI coffee shop finder. Whoop. Select star from. It's irrelevant. Let's do locations. Hey,
Neat.
there's our data.
223 Fake Street.
Yeah. Pro tip for like dummy data: use stuff that still looks like real data.
Yeah,
Like, don't just be like, be like, oh, 123 Fake Street, 8675309, zip code 12345. Just so when you see it in the UI, you actually know what it will look like with real data.
Instead of struggling.
Yeah, it's not like ASDF, ASDF. It's like, that doesn't really get you much. All right. So now what do we want to do?
Now what do you?
We have data inside of our database. We have a React app not hooked up to a database.
Load them together.
Yeah, that means we need to do some sort of controller, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so let's make a new controller. What do we want our first endpoint to be? Instead of just blindly making it, let's actually kind of think about it for a second.
You'd probably want to get
So let me get, what are we going to be getting?
all of your individual coffee shop locations.
Okay, so it's going to be a
And
location.
then it's displaying the user card. But I mean, I guess that's
That's step
we're
two.
talking
but-
just about the controller.
Yes. So
So
what's that data?
return the data, return each location individually. Or return.
Yep.
You know,
So-
return the locations.
Yes. So let's think about this for a second. Endpoints.md. We're going to have a get/locations that returns all locations. We'll do ordered by what? Something very simple for now. Let's do
Well, eventually we want distance, but now just order by ID. I mean,
brand name, order by ID.
we could sort by brand or something.
Brand alphabetically, numerically.
For now.
Sort
yeah.
by zip code.
Order by zip code. Let's order by zip code. Because we have a handful of zip codes. Let's kind of order them.
Yep.
So, location controller .cs.
Grab all that.
So now what we want a get.
HTTP.
Yep.
And then, hold on, where did this?
Public action result.
Maybe
Alligator. Wait, no, we don't need that. Wait.
So I'm going to leave it just that for now. I'm just saying, hey, for right now, I don't know what it's going to be like. So let's just kind of keep it open and generic right now. I'm returning some sort of response. Okay. And now it's going to be called, we'll call it get action. And now inside of it, what do we want to do? We just want to return everything that we said, right?
Yeah.
Equals new. Nope.
That's right.
I'm going to return db dot locations order by
Zip.
o.zip. Now it's saying, wait a minute, you're returning an action result, but you're giving me a list of stuff.
So I know the rule.
So let's wrap this inside of it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, return
Return it.
200 OK.
Mhm.
And when that happens, this information is there, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct.
Sweet. Okay.
Okay. So let's so let's start this bad boy up. Let's make sure it works.
And we're not going to see it. Oh, yeah, you can do it local / whatever.
So here I'm in my API. Postman.
That's right.
So before we can get to the React app, Postman.
Pitty post.
So I want to go to localhost API / locations. Whoop. Hey, 404 not found.
Capital?
Singular. So do we want it to be singular or plural? Probably plural.
We're going to think so. We're returning all locations.
Yeah. So let's change it here.
Do you need to change the name of the file? Or are you good?
Yeah. Keeping me honest.
That's right.
It's probably the best part about live coding is that people will keep you honest. For the stuff that I wouldn't.
Hey, asshole, you didn't do the thing.
Hey, do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, you're good.
That's a lot for him.
You notice that's something though.
Oh no.
Oh no. So we need to say, what we need to say now is, hey, whenever we query for this, we want to include that foreign key. We want to include that data. So we're going to have to do a dot include. Now this is in a new namespace. Microsoft Entity Framework Core. You want to say, hey, include the franchise.
Huh.
So the reason why that's manual like that is that sometimes we don't want to do that. Sometimes we don't want to bring in all that extra data.
Yeah.
We just want to go, hey, give me your location information, and that's it. Here, though, we do. We want to say, hey, bring in, do that join for us. Yeah,
Could not beautify.
because we had a little error happen.
What are we missing?
So this is something that you'll hit as well. And here is the error that we have. So take a minute and read that. and really hone in on this part right here.
So you're trying to use recursion.
Yeah, so there's a self-referencing referencing loop here. So we're saying, hey, include in this query franchise. But on franchises, we have a reference back to locations.
Oh, so you're like stuck in an infinite loop, and so is it being like, nope, not allowed?
Yes.
Cutting that off?
Yep, we're saying, hey, you're doing something in an infinite amount of time. You have this self-referencing loop going on here. Check yourself. I don't
Is
know
that-
how you want to handle this.
So an unhandled exception is telling you handled it.
Yes. It's like, hey, we crashed, which is why the response has already started, which is why we got over here, like, part of it. And you actually see what's happening here.
Oh.
We see our first location has all that stuff. We see the franchise is an object. But we get down to locations, and it's a blank array. Because it failed because it was self-referencing.
I was trying to come back around.
Exactly. And it's like, wait a minute, you're going back and forth a lot.
Right.
I'm
So
done.
I go back to that one and then go back to that one.
So what the code is
Exactly.
saying to do is like if you swipe over to like the thing where you're recording,
Mm-hmm.
you're recording the screen, recording the screen, recording the screen, recording
Exactly.
the screen.
It's one of those.
So it's trying to put the location within the franchise, within the location, within the franchise.
Spring dive in.
Yes. So there are a couple of ways to fix this. All of them are valid in a sense, and it's how the problem should be correctly solved. The first one is more of a brute force kind of way. It's saying that our reference to over here on franchise, this is actually the problem.
Right.
Since we know from this morning, this is actually optional, what we could do, comment it out, just remove it. That's fine, it will work, but now we've lost some functionality, right?
And how specifically are we using that function?
So now I can't query franchise it and get all the franchise locations.
Oh, because you haven't defined it as a one-to-many relationship.
Right. The relationship is still there because of the navigation properties on the other model,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't ever go, hey, give me franchise 1 and then give me all of its locations. I have to go, hey, to locations, give me it by franchise.
Yeah.
So it's not,
Okay.
we just have to reframe it. And our queries get a bit different. That's all. So that's fine. That's one way to fix it. Another way to fix it is to use a select. Is to say, hey, every time we pull this out, instead of giving us a location model,
Select this thing from
yeah,
franchise.
and we actually null out the franchise dot locations. Gets a bit hairy because now we have to do that every time we query. The third way we do that is there's actually a configuration that says, hey, if we see a self-referencing loop, just don't include that property.
That's the best.
So
That seems like the best option.
there's 3 different ways to do it. We're going to do it that way. So over here in the startup, actually forget self-referencing. This is one of those one of those things of code that you just kind of
Just grab.
grab once and use it. Stop. That's not it. So over here on inside of our startup, so a little bit more configuration, is after we do MVC, we just tell it to, hey, ignore self-referencing loops. So a little bit more configuration, but nothing too nuts.
And now that takes care of the problem for all subjects. So how does Postman look now?
It should return each location individually, right?
It shouldn't have that location part here. It should just be
Right. Or it'll say location null. Yeah, well,
Okay, it was empty, right?
huh.
That's cool.
So yeah. And you see that it's populated for each one.
God, this thing is gonna be
Is-
so important.
Is the franchise ID technically like would be like the locations then in that case? Like you could like type into franchise ID and all the locations would show up.
You could. We could create another endpoint called franchises. That gives us the other way around. It says it lists us all the franchises we have and locations are part of the franchise. So yeah, it's all about what view that we want
If
to
we did
do.
it that way, it would be franchise ID, boom, boom, boom. Then all this
Yep.
would be in
Within
the empty array,
Yeah, yeah.
right here.
Sorry.
I guess what I'm asking is how would you get all of the locations for like Starbucks or for
You need to write a new
Endpoint.
Yeah.
So do you want to make it that endpoint real fast? It's like, what does that look like?
Yes.
Sure. It's yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean if everyone's okay with that, it's not too time consuming.
Absolutely.
No, God.
Refuse.
Objection. I veto your suggestion.
So that's going to be.
You, I decree.
So let's see. Added locations endpoint. So we want to do a get franchise. Get franchises, right? We want to get all franchises.
All
Yeah,
franchises or get a single franchise?
You're missing the N.
Do we want to be able to just get like Starbucks, Caldwell,
Yeah. So
Tigers,
Sure.
all?
I think yeah, I'll ask you, Andrew, the stakeholder client in that. Do you want like just the franchises, so just Starbucks, Kawa, and Bikery, or do you want the locations for all the franchises?
I feel like the latter.
Okay. So it will be like that, right? Franchises locations. That's the URL that we want.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
So this is going to say we're looking for franchises, but we're looking for the locations of those franchises.
So it's only going to return the franchise's location.
So conversely, the top one will give us the locations first and then the franchise.
Right.
This one will give us the franchise first and then the
Also
locations.
one.
So this one we would want to sort by franchise
Correct.
or order by.
Yep.
You could just
So-
do order by ID, I guess, at that point.
Yep. Franchise with locations ordered by brand name.
Well, it would be ordered by brand name, as in like you would type that in as an endpoint brand name,
No, like it would return Bikery, Kawa, Starbucks.
like alphabetically.
Correct.
Maybe I should have changed
Oh, because
it.
this isn't a search endpoint where we type in like Starbucks and
Right.
it returns only the Starbucks locations.
Right.
I honestly kind of prefer that.
You want that?
Yeah. I feel like
Okay.
that's- isn't that? Don't you think that'd be better?
Yeah, I think what we're doing
Yeah, I
here
mean,
is
it
literally
doesn't
exactly what we just did, but in a different
Sorry,
order.
Yes.
I must have.
You can pick
So-
one of those two, it doesn't matter, either one works.
My bad. Sorry.
Fine. So we wanted to say, hey, give me a single one
Franchises.
brand and give me all of its locations.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot closer to what I was.
Okay. So that's fine. That's useful. So let's head over here to our controller. So this is going to be a new controller, right?
Yep, search controller,
Nope, not search controller. Is
not search controller, brand name.
Franchises controller.
that right?
Franchise,
Why does that look wrong there?
franchise.
It's not. It's just a weird looking word and we've read it like 1,000 times now, so all of a sudden it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Franchises controller. I'll grab everything from the top.
Come on. Oh god. Oh god. Foot cramp. Foot cramp. Foot cramp.
Oh, this is the worst.
Oh god. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. Let's see if I can power through it. Okay.
Franchise controller. Franchises.
So now it's going to be a get as well. Public action result. Get. So now this is going to be a slash brand slash location. Because we're saying here, this get exists at this specific URL. And then we're saying, hey, from the route, string brand. We want to return something here. So before we can get into the database, let's start with, does this endpoint work? Does this endpoint actually truly live at the place where I expect it to, and does it do what I think it will do? So I'm just going to return the brand. Just whatever I pass in, give it to me back.
What is that syntax next to the get? It confuses me a little bit.
Which syntax?
The brand and locations.
Okay,
Is
so
it
yes.
curly bracket? What does that mean? What is
So
the difference?
this is a variable.
Okay.
So this is saying, hey, this is going to be something different every time.
Okay,
But whatever's in here is going to be stuck at the end of this URL.
got it.
So our full URL for this route is /API/ whatever the controller is called, franchises,
I see.
/ something that we're going to call brand
Okay,
/ locations.
okay. Understand.
So that's what that's going to do.
So the variable there could be called anything, but it has to reference something that's actually in the data.
It doesn't. It just has to match this right here.
So,
So you call it something
Brand
meaningful
going
for
from the front
yourself, so you understand, but it don't necessarily have to.
Right. Was it?
brand coming from the front end.
Yeah, it'll come from the front. This URL will be like string interpolated inside of your fetch.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So yeah. So let's just see if this works.
That helped a lot, actually.
So it should be API / franchise. This
Franchise.
/ Starbucks / locations. That's all nice and pretty. 404 not found.
Starbucks capital S.
No.
Capitals don't matter anymore, do they?
Correct.
Probably, yeah.
That should not matter. So why are you coming back for me as the URL? As a 404 not found. Are you running? Make sure it's the latest version.
Are we returning the right thing?
Yeah. There you go. Just wasn't running the latest version.
Okay.
That's my always go to, like, it looks right. Am I running the latest version?
What did you do to make it on the latest version?
Stopped it and reran it.
Oh, you just stopped
It wasn't running the latest version of our code.
Yeah.
essentially.
We were changing things faster than it was compiling, so I thought it was the latest version, but it actually was a version behind.
So because you returned just brand, oh, actually just returned.
Yeah.
I guess that's the brand too.
Yep, so I can change this to Bikery, return Bikery. I can change this to Gorilla, return Gorilla.
Right, because you called the brand.
Yep, anything I want.
Right.
So now if I do Kawa, I want it to return all the Kawa locations. So var db equals new coffee finder
API.
context. So var results So what do I want to query here? Locations or franchises?
Franchise.
Okay.
Because franchises has locations in it.
So we want to include
Location.
I dot
Location, lowercase.
locations.
Oh, no.
I dot locations. Dot where w dot brand
Equals brand?
dot to lowercase
Yeah.
equals brand dot to lowercase, and we only want to. So do we want to return the franchise and the locations, or just the locations?
Franchise and the location. So like Starbucks, here's the location. Starbucks, here's the location. Kawa, here's the location.
Okay.
I mean, a bunch of random locations doesn't help a whole lot. I don't think that really doesn't.
There's no right or wrong answer to that. It's just what will we massage it as.
Yeah.
Because really, you would agree with your front-end developer, whoever that is, be it someone else or even yourself, like, what should this endpoint return? How am I using this endpoint?
So my question here, brand to lower brand.
Yes.
The actual big capital or capital B brand is referencing the brands in the database.
Correct.
Because that, so now that can't be anything. If you put Gorilla where Kawa is, it's just going to return Gorilla, or will it return nothing?
So Gorilla, let's figure out what do we think it will do if we toss some junk data.
I think it will just. I don't think it'll return anything. I think it'll get a not found. Not 200 OK.
Yeah.
But it didn't match what was inside the 200 OK.
Right.
Got it.
So now,
just return it empty, right?
yep, we're just saying, hey, it's empty. Don't know what to do. Really, what we can do is instead of returning, because this isn't a search, this is kind of like a direct search. We could do first or default and say, hey, only return us the one thing. So if we have like Starbucks and Starbucks coffee,
Right.
it will only return Starbucks or whichever one is in there first. Okay. And that's perfectly fine for us because we only want to return one location.
Right.
And then we can go if results equals null, then we can return the not found.
That's what I was looking forward to understanding. I knew we needed some kind of reason.
Not found meaning it returns a 404, right?
Correct. So if I come over here to my Gorilla, instead of the 200 of what it was, it's going to be
But
building.
you want that. You want that so you know, like, okay, this is not working. I don't want the 200 OK. I don't like when something doesn't give me an error, but it's not right. That stresses me out. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, 200 OK.
That comes down to how you as a dev team handles that kind of thing. So this is the more restful approach. But as we know, 404 not found can mean a lot of different things. Did I just mistype localhost? Is my URL structure correct?
Okay, sure.
So it's a bit more like not found. So what you could do,
Could you put a message in there?
you could. That's what I was gonna do. We can say new. We can use an anonymous object here. You can go message equals brand.
Not found.
Yes, brand was not found.
Nice. So that's saying whatever you typed.
Use the get franchise to get a list of brands.
Do you need the backticks?
Nope, we're in C#, dude.
Oh, Jesus. Holy fuck. Okay.
That's beautiful. I wanna put that on all mine. I think it's a really functional way of dealing with errors.
Yeah, so now we can go, hey, boop. 404 not found. Brand Gorilla was not found. Use the get franchise to get a list of brands. That is super useful. It's still 404. Now I know that I'm at least seeing the right endpoint.
Because now, let's say you did misspell localhost, we just get a 404 not found.
Yep, so if I go to if I misspell locations, it'd be like, yeah, look, hey, I'm going to get a 404, but no message.
No message. So then as a team, we know, okay, we didn't get a message, so it must be in this stuff.
Right.
That's super cool, thinking ahead. I like that a lot. Okay, cool.
You could use messages like that for people out there not familiar with them too. You could make it for like the user, right? Like if they
Yeah.
typed in gorilla, you'd be like, listen, there's
Yeah.
no gorilla location.
Yeah.
Listen, it's
You
not
could-
gonna, it's not gonna work.
You can have your code then listen for like this message and be like, hey, if there is a message in the result, I know that it failed.
Alert.
I want to display something to the user.
Is that how there's like custom 404 pages and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, custom 404, that's something different. You can throw on like a route, a 404 route. And if we get to it today,
Okay.
if we get to it in the next couple days, we'll do that. Be like, here's
In
my
React?
It helps with React Router too.
It
If
does.
you have, when you just like try and go back another page, it'll redirect you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just change the hash route, you don't have to set it up every time.
So how does this work for our
Friend.
yeah.
This is cool, right? APIs are cool. I like it.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, we need to talk to the API versus the front end.
Right. This is not doing much for
This is
me.
probably, we're probably not going to use this, at least in our UI today.
Right.
You know, maybe at some point in the future we'll add this feature. So added franchise controller. Franchise controller, not using as of today. So now we want to head over to our locations controller. And we want to call this from our front end.
That is where we're gonna do a fetch.
So over here now in our homepage, we want to come up here inside of our, what event is it? Component.
Did mount.
Is this technically all like the a front end and a back end app in the same thing? Is that what this is? That
He has two different things open in Visual Code at the same time. There's two different projects open in Visual Code.
Yeah.
So this is a complete different project, complete
the
different.
Cop Shop client and the Cop Shop API are the two separate ones.
Yeah, they're two
Correct.
separate.
Yep, the
I've
two
never seen that
separate.
before.
What?
I've never seen that before. I've never
I
seen
did
that
it
at
on
the same time.
accident, that's why I knew, because all of a sudden I looked and I had like all my .NET projects open, I'm like, what the hell did I do? Oh my god. I think I did code start in like C#.NET, so just open all
Mm-hmm.
no good.
Oh yeah, I did that a couple
Yeah,
times.
so I had like 4 projects listed there, like what the hell? It's not. Did you start typing the wrong project?
Yeah. What?
You said, what the hell?
Yeah.
The
So-
product did mount.
We want to put something in the state, right?
It's gonna be, I guess, franchise or coffee shop brand
Locations.
locations. I guess, yeah. That's semantically correct. It's empty,
It's empty. And then in here, we want to do our fetch, right?
right?
Where do we want to go to? We want to go to
HTTPS, localhost,
hot potatoes, localhost,
5001
5001/API/
hash locations.
It's hot potato and hot potatoes. HTTP and HTTPS. I love me some potato skins. Dot then. Dot then. Response. JSON. Do you want to use Axios instead?
That would be great.
It's like Catholic code.
Yeah.
I
And then a
mean,
refresher on Axios.
yeah, remember that? And you remind us how to get the code for import it.
Let's see if I can do this off the top of my head. Woo. CD coffee shop client. Yarn add Axios. Right?
Yeah.
And as it's doing that, it's going to be import
Axios.
Axios from
Axios.
Axios. And then it's going to be Axios. I don't have any IntelliSense yet. You know, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait the 2 seconds. So yeah, we're bringing the package, yarn add. We're importing it. It worked. So now I can do Axios dot get, and it takes a URL. So this is where we do our hot potatoes, localhost 5000/API/locations.
Does that have to be 5001 since it's HTTPS?
Does. dot then, and this is our JSON data, right?
Oh, is that why it needs to be 5001?
Why?
HTTP is 5,000, HTTPS is 5,001.
Gotcha.
I figured that out the other day. Absolutely
You can
didn't answer
control
that.
those others.
So here, I'm not even doing anything with the response. I'm just saying, hey,
Console.
go get it and log in my console.
Yeah.
This tests that handshake and to make sure that it all works.
Which is really helpful.
So before we even try to do anything else, like map over it, put it into a card, or do anything fun like that, we're just saying,
Console login.
yeah, just saying, hey, can I get the data? Because once I can get the data, everything else is React, and that's easy. So easy.
The part that we just did was the easy part. The React is stuff in it.
Yeah,
How did I do that again?
That's
Whatever. Disagree.
So I do my console. I don't see any errors. That's always good.
That's always nice.
Hey, object,
Boom.
JSON,
Boom.
data. Boop, boop. There we go.
Flash page is defined but never used.
Oh yeah.
What?
Splash page is defined. There's some hrefs that are not cool, but that's all cool.
Whatever.
Yeah. Because originally we had a splash page
Yeah. Oh yeah, Splash.js. That's
Yep.
fun. Some coffee shop.
that we're not going to be using, at least not yet. We will be by the end of this week.
Okay, what was that power switch?
Now we need to add this state. This dot set state.
What's that set state? Location equals location?
Locations equals. Now before we just kind of randomly do this, it should be it's gone. It should be JSON dot
Data.
data.
And I guess that's it.
And that's it. Anticlimactic.
Okay, now we still just in the console though.
So I'm going to head over my React DevTools
Okay.
to make sure that it's in state and something that I want it to be.
How do we do that again? Page. Path.
Location 6. Perfect.
Oh.
So we have our data now that's in state. Now we got to map over it.
With that, I still have to reference maps, and I can't just
Location,
Wow.
style map.
This dot state dot location dot map.
the function. I remember that part. Location.
How we want to return.
Okay.
What do we want to return?
This whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then in there we have to put the
Is that right?
location dot whatever.
This one.
I did miss one. So I always like to double check to make sure that it's rendering out as many items as I expect. Even though I know it's not lined up yet, but it's just like, hey,
Did I map that right?
yeah, I should have 6 items, and it looks like I do.
Make sure when you're typing in the data, you put the right capitalizations and non-capitalizations in.
Yeah. So now we want to do. Here's our name. It's a.
Okay.
Yep. Key equals. Let's rename this to shop. Something a bit more meaningful. Shop dot
ID.
ID. Shop dot name. Shop dot franchise dot name. No, brand. And then this is going to be the address. So
Shop dot franchise dot location.
shop dot no. If we look at our data, the address is address plus city plus state.zip. It's going to be shop.address, shop.city, shop dot state. They really don't need state, huh? Shop dot zip. I'm going to take that out for now. Its rating is going to be shop dot rating. We didn't do its hours. We didn't do anything more details yet. So let's see if this works.
How's the image?
Bless you. And the image we'll do next. Starbucks, 123 Fake Street. Hey, hey.
456 of Grand Avenue. This is cool. Digging it.
So now let's get the image. Where do we want to put the image? Do we want the image to be a little thumbnail, or do we want it to be
Yes.
a rich media content?
I think
Thumbnail.
Thumbnail? Okay.
Rich media comment takes too much, especially for this type of app. That would take too much So this would be shop dot franchise dot brand.
Nope, I believe the image URL is actually on the shop.
And you can put, you can do brand and alt.
How freaking
Huh.
cool, dude.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, we should do our alt tag.
Brand
Yep, whatever the shop dot
franchise dot.
franchise dot brand.
Oh, I see. So that would actually be the text in the alt
Mm-hmm.
within the image franchise. So for my capstone, I think I'm gonna make a coffee shop finder app.
Nope.
Denied.
Can be restaurant finder.
Yeah, it's a restaurant finder. Nah. No.
Can I make a generic cred app?
Can it be
You
a,
already are.
Can
Yeah.
it be a bikery finder?
Biker. It just helps you find
Bikery finder.
One biker.
Where's the bikery? Click a button.
So
Very cool.
yeah, like full stack app. Talking to a React. What time is it? 3:07 exactly. Okay. So tomorrow, we will add something to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll continue to build this out. Maybe a map, maybe something or other.
So
Maybe.
Maybe something or other. You know, things, stuff and things and stuffs. Any feature requests?
so I'm thinking
I'll
about
brainstorm later.
You know what? Surprise us tomorrow,
okay.
and we'll work through it together.
And do some awesome CSS stuff.
You can.
That is awesome CSS.
How about a,
Get over yourself. Eat your heart out.
Somehow working iCal into this.
make an appointment for someone.
Yeah.
No, we'll probably add a rating.
What are you gonna do
I'd
with
like
it?
a more detailed picture. I'd like to see another page.
Okay.
Are
like
we gonna
I'm
actually
like-
set up where it tells their distance from? Or are we just hard coding all the data?
If we get there, yeah.
Mainly because I haven't done React Route in several weeks.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see
And the only reason why I'm kind of like pushing that off is that includes geocoding and geolocation and stuff like that. And that's an extra layer of complexity that kind of takes away from crowding an app, doing full stack app. It's cool.
Location would be useful to
It's super useful and super cool. But not, it's like a level 2 skill, not like working with data and making it
Level
up.
2.5.
Yeah. Level
We'll be like really sneaky and like make it statically locate you from SDG. So it's like when people are trying to demo you, they're like, wow, look at that.
Look at this.
So it's detecting our location.
As you can see,
That's what you're
That would be awful, because then I would explain that to people. People would be like, wow, that's so cool you did that. Like,
No.
it's a lie.
Completely, I can see
That-
it.
I'm a
so,
fraud.
that being said, geolocation on the client side is super easy. The hard part is going from like 2200 Grand Central Station to like where is that actually on a map?
Oh.
Like
So
because
if I were to type in like that, like the address here,
yeah, it's actually going to
what are
geocode.
the like searching by location, what is around there?
It's going to switch it to lat and longitude. and then query based off of that.
Oh god.
Gross.
So it's not just like how far away am I from like 1, 2, 3, 4th Street. I am. What's my GPS location from here to there?
Is that why you wanted me to include the lat long in my? Cool. Thank you.
Like
Thinking ahead.
lat and long. Anytime you're dealing with maps and stuff like that, addresses are only nice to have. Lat and long is where it's at.
So like Google Maps and stuff, and not map the function.
Yeah, Google Maps. So yeah, tomorrow we'll add a rating and a more detailed page. That sound good? All right.
Eventually, we'll have to get that search function working.